2025. This Council now becomes a committee of the whole Council to consider the Buildings Energy Efficiency Amendment Bill 2025. Members may refer to the appendix to the script for the debate and voting arrangements for the bill. Members have been informed that the committee will conduct a joint debate on the clauses and the amendments, including the new clauses. I now propose the question to you that the following clauses stand part of the bill. Clauses 1 to 25. Secretary for Environment and Ecology will move amendments to amend various clauses and add the new Clause 7A. Members may refer to the appendix to the script for details of the amendments. Members may now proceed to a joint debate on the clauses and the amendments. I will first call upon the Secretary for Environment and Ecology to speak, but he is not required to move the amendments at this stage. Then I will call upon members to speak. Upon the conclusion of the joint debate, the committee will first vote on the clauses with no amendments standing part of the bill, then proceed to deal with the amendments according to the arrangement set out in the appendix to the script. Secretary for Environment and Ecology. Chairman, I now move the 7 amendments of the government to amend clauses 3, 6, 16, 17, and 19 and add new Clause 7A of the Buildings Energy Efficiency Amendment Bill 2025. These amendments are set out in the paper forwarded to members by the Electoral Secretariat. The changes broadly fall into 3 groups, which I now highlight. First, definition of data center. The first group of amendments seeks to enhance the definition of data center in the bill. We propose amending Clause 3 of the bill to define data center as a place for housing and operating computer systems, servers, telecommunications equipment, and associated support components in a secure and controlled environment, principally for providing data storage, data processing, and data distribution services, with examples of such associated support components set out in the notes. The amended definition clarifies the elements essential for a data center and excludes a place solely used for storing such equipment and housing any such equipment. Second, specifying the follow-up actions to be taken by building owners and/or heads of relevant government departments when exemption conditions for energy audits cease to apply. The second group of amendments seeks to specify the follow-up actions to be taken by building owners and/or heads of relevant government departments when exemption conditions for energy audits cease to apply. Clause 6 of the bill contains provisions that allow the Director of Electrical and Mechanical Services to act on the written advice from the head of a department of the government by exempting a building from energy audits on grounds of safeguarding national security. In response to comments from the legal advisor and the Bills Committee on the practicalities of the exemption, the government reviewed all existing and proposed new provisions on exemption from energy audits under Part 4 of the bill and now proposes adding new Clause 7A to the bill to set out the relevant requirements, such as A. The building owner and/or head of a government department must deliver a notice to the DEMS in writing. B. Within 12 months after the exemption conditions cease to apply, the building owner must cause an energy audit to be carried out in respect of the essential building services installations of the building. C. The DEMS may, on an application in writing by the owner concerned, extend the period in which the energy audit must be performed, and D. Offenses and penalties apply to breaches of these requirements on energy audits. The third group of amendments, technical and drafting amendments. The last group of changes consists of technical and textual amendments. First, we propose remove references to the definition of national security under Clause 6 of the bill. The latest legal advice from the Department of Justice suggests that the term national security is already defined under Section 3 of the Interpretation and General Clauses Ordinance Cap 1 with the same meaning as the expression used in the bill. That makes defining the phrase again unnecessary. This change will have no impact on the legal effect of the bill and the amended Buildings Energy Efficiency Ordinance. We also propose amending the English and Chinese wording under clauses 16 and 17 of a building that is occupied principally as a community building and a building that is occupied principally as a municipal services building. In response to the BC's suggestion, the government proposes drafting amendments to make these expressions clearer and easier to follow. Finally, we also propose a consequential technical amendment to Clause 19 of the bill. This change goes hand in hand with the definition of data center under Clause 3. The BC has no objection to these 7 amendments. I urge members to support the passage of these amendments. Does any member wish to speak? If not, we now first vote on the clauses with no amendment standing part of the bill. With those in favor, please raise their hands. Those against, please raise their hands. I think the question is agreed by a majority of the members present. I declare the motion passed. This committee now deals with the clauses with amendments. Secretary for Environment and Ecology, you may move your amendment. Chairman, I move the amendments set out in the appendix to the script. I propose the question to you that the Secretary's amendments be passed. Those in favor, please raise their hands. Those against, please raise their hands. I think the question is agreed by a majority of the members present. I declare the amendments passed. Clauses 3, 6, 16, 17, and 19 as amended. I now put the question to you that the clauses as amended just read out by the clerk stand part of the bill. With those in favor, please raise their hands. Those against, please raise their hands. I think the question is agreed by a majority of the members present. I declare the motion passed. We now deal with the new clause 7A. Sections 25A and 25B added. Secretary for Environment and Ecology, you may move the second reading of the new clause. Chairman, I move the second reading of the new clause just read out by the clerk. I propose the question to you that the new clause read out by the clerk be read the second time. With those in favor, please raise their hands. Those against, please raise their hands. I think the question is agreed by a majority of the members present. I declare the motion passed. New Clause 7A. Secretary for Environment and Ecology, I move to add the new clause just read out by the clerk. I propose the question to you that the new clause just read out by the clerk be added to the bill. With those in favor, please raise their hands. Those against, please raise their hands. I think the question is agreed by a majority of the members present. I declare the motion passed. All the proceedings on the Buildings Energy Efficiency Amendment Bill 2025 have been concluded in Committee of the Whole Council. Council now resumes. Secretary for Environment and Ecology. President, I now report to the Council that the Buildings Energy Efficiency Amendment Bill 2025 has been passed by Committee of the Whole Council with amendments. I move the motion that this Council adopts this report. I now propose the question to you that the Secretary's motion be passed. With those in favor, please raise their hands. Those against, please raise their hands. I think the question is agreed by a majority of the members present. I declare the motion passed. Third reading. Building